Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Um, oh, okay, there we go. Now, nope, that's not it. Oh man, that was yesterday. Hold on a second. Don't need that right now. How in the world did I do that? Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay, that's going to work out. All right, let's see who was here first. Annie Bullard, thank you so much for being here first. And who else is here? Fancy Fancy, Lydia Washington. Um, Maybe I should make that bigger. Okay, I think that works. Wow, I really can't see, can I? All right, there we go. I got my slides up. Now just one more step, and we are off to the races. Aha! Very good. So, an amazing day for the Duchess of Sussex, but of course, the focus really ought to be on those brave parents that have shared their pain with the rest of the world. And I would say that the Duchess is there to bring much needed attention to a very tragic thing for those families. And that, of course, is the online harm. So she's done an amazing job. And and of course, all of the people who helped put it together, and the World Health Organization, Archwell Philanthropies, and so on. So, anyway, let's get to it. We'll probably have a bunch of things coming out the next couple of days, and also I'm keeping an eye out for dinner because I know there's a dinner. And was it dinner last night or is it tonight? Will there be any images from the dinner? That I'm not sure yet, but I will be keeping an eye out for that. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick peek right now, just to say I did. Okay. Okay, so far, no pics. And one last thing I would like to check exactly what time is it in Geneva? It is 5 a.m. So yeah, we're not likely to get any any pictures from dinner. At least not tonight. It may have been a smaller group or something like that, but I couldn't imagine that. Megan may even very well be on her way home right now. She may be taking a flight back this way as we speak. So if there was a dinner, it probably would have been last night. But yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not disappointed. I wanted to see Megan dressed up for dinner, but it's okay. Quite okay. Um, hey, Legs, thanks for joining us. Oh, by the way, Lily, one of the squatties on the X formerly known as Twitter, is posted this. Sunday blessings. May God fill our cup today and let it overflow with sweetest joys and blessings. Be blessed. I'd say amen to that. Take a screenshot if you need it. Hey, Joan Garcia. Joan Garcia, I was thinking about you the other day. One of those people, like one of those guest panelists, one of those talking heads that were speaking about Iran and, of course, the U.S. and all of this stuff involved with this conflict. Not officially a war, but just a conflict. And the guy compared, I want to say it was the U.S. forces. He compared them to the gang that couldn't shoot straight. And of course, instantly I thought about you because I had never heard of that movie until you told me about it. So thanks again. And also, you made sure that I was able to watch it with a gift. So thank you again for that. The gang that couldn't shoot straight. It's a very funny movie. Okay. Oh, and you guys, I don't know if you know this, but today is monetization day. Oh, they can't shoot straight. Yes. Thank you so much. Um, so yes, the 17th of May, 2021, that is when Royal Sussex was first monetized. Yeah, that was the first time that I was actually able to make money and do the work I love at the same time. So, thank you all so much for your generous contributions. And thank you all for years of support in some cases, especially when I look back at how long some people have had memberships. And I want to say it was Lydia that was like, you need to get your memberships up. And, and of course, it took me probably another month after that. Probably took me another month before I finally had everything up and running. But thank you all, everyone, for being a part of this whole thing because I thought I was going to do a travel channel, and I thought I'd just do some royal stuff just to get used to everything. And well, the travel channel is still waiting. So thank you, and God bless everyone. And I'm looking forward to years to come. Yes, I call it monetization day. Okay, I did not mean to do that. If you don't hit those arrows, then it'll just keep doing it over and over again. Not my intention. But yes, monetization day. Oh, okay. Yes, I thought so. I thought I remember that. Okay. And so this is the official curated photos from the Archwell Philanthropies. Phew. Although I miss saying foundation, but these are their official photos, and there's this one. So of course there's the Archwell Philanthropies homepage, which I do hope that from time to time you guys will look through their Sussex.com or Archwell.com webpage. I think both of those addresses will take you to the same place so that you can see the official words of the Sussexes and their foundation. So this is one of the official images. I think this one is Actually, yeah, I think that is a very powerful image. I love the way the composition is laid out there. You can almost seems like those images of the I'm gonna just call it a memorial. Um, but you can see how the images of those phones, those are like giant phones with their home screen or their lock screen as they left it when they unfortunately lost their lives. And it's a very, the more I think about it, because our phones are so personal to us and because we carry them practically everywhere we go, um, it is a very fitting way to remember um, any of us really by what we have on our home screen. That is, of course, if it's our image that's there, but that is definitely something to think about. And of course, there's this one: no child lost to social media. And Dr. Tedros, I did not see I didn't see any of the parents from the Parents Network that I recognize. I'm not saying that they weren't there. I just did not catch a glimpse of any of them, and that was unusual. But Switzerland is a long way to go, especially this time of year, because if you have kids that are like coming home from college, or if you have kids that are finishing up school, it would be probably a problem for some people to take a trip like that um, this time of year. But interesting. I thought it was interesting that I didn't see any of them. So again, no child lost to social media. Those were the photos that were curated especially by Archwell Philanthropies. So let me see. How do I want to do this? I want to play the speech in its entirety, but the speech is about 10 minutes long. So I think maybe I'll do that now, and then we can talk about it on the other side. I was even thinking about doing a little pause in the middle, but maybe not. So, yeah, I'm going to do the speech in its entirety. It is 10 minutes long. So, if you have not heard it yet, now is your opportunity. Megan was gracious enough to post it for everyone to share. So, I don't think anybody gets in trouble for using it. Um, yeah, so let's do that, and then we'll look at some more picks when I'm done with that, and talk about a few other things. Let's see. There was only one parent that went, and that was the woman that walked in with her, also in black. Okay. So the lady in pink, there's quite a few images of the lady in pink. I thought she might possibly have been one of the parent network's parents, but um, I'm not sure if I've ever seen her before. Okay, so the lady that she walked in with, thank you for letting me know that. Okay, let's do the speech then. Okay, one more time. Okay, that's better. You guys, I am so proud of myself. I am getting so good at labeling my videos. About time. It only took me about 4 years. I don't know which took longer, Me labeling my videos properly or the early year? I don't know which took longer. Me to label my videos properly or Kate spending 10 years to come up with 5 questions that she didn't even think of herself. Yes, a little shade, a little shade. Wouldn't be me if I didn't.
Thank you for being here this evening. And thank you, Dr. Tedros, not simply for your leadership at the World Health Organization, but for your clarity in recognizing that this is not simply a technology issue. It is a public health issue, and a human one. Behind us stands the Lost Screen Memorial. Not statistics, not avatars, not data points, children. Each name belonged to a child who was loved beyond measure. A child whose laughter once filled a kitchen, whose shoes once waited by a front door, whose future once felt limitless. And now their faces ask the world questions we can no longer avoid. How many more millions of children will be harmed by products that, while innovative, are still designed without sufficient safeguards? And when will children be able to enjoy the extraordinary potential of technology without it compromising their well-being? For too long, we've accepted a dangerous bargain that modern connection must come at the cost of the innocence of childhood, that innovation excuses injury, and that speed matters more than safety. But we would never accept this logic anywhere else. We did not tell parents to create their own seatbelts. We did not ask children to test unsafe medicine. We did not shrug at poisoned water or defective toys and call it the price of progress. We acted, and now the world must act again. Because children today are being shaped by systems designed to capture attention at absolutely any cost. Relentless algorithms, exploitative engagement, and endless exposure to harmful content that they are not seeking out. When a joyful and athletic young girl goes online looking for healthy recipes and instead is fed body dysmorphia content and pro-anorexia videos, leading her to be hospitalized for months with a severe eating disorder, her family sees their vibrant daughter suddenly sick from the social media she logged into. That is Katie. When a kind, warm, handsome teenage boy is overcome by a breakup with his girlfriend and goes onto social media looking for quotes of affirmation to help him get through it, the platforms preyed upon his pain. And instead of just offering him the words of encouragement he was searching for, they offered him ideas of how he should take his life. And he did. That is Mason. And when a beautiful young girl has a pizza and movie night with her parents, there in the living room, and before she heads to bed, she asks her mom for a cord to charge her phone. And in the early hours of the morning, her mother finds that her daughter has hanged herself. Overwhelmed by the online bullying she had been subjected to, silently suffering while keeping a brave face for those who loved her most. At 14 years old, that young girl followed the detailed instructions of a video that was pushed to her feed, showing her exactly how to take her life. And she did. That is England. As her father, Tony, shared with us a few years ago, if love could have saved our children, they would all still be here. Because these children were deeply loved in the same way that you and we love our own children. These stories are not isolated, they are consistent, and they are not the fault of the child nor the parent. Across lived experience, court cases, authoritative medical and media journals, and testimony from families, a clear and urgent picture is emerging. At the same time, advancing technologies such as AI are not just repeating past mistakes, they are accelerating and amplifying them. The risks are compounding. We are seeing new forms of harms emerge faster than our systems and ourselves are prepared to respond, affecting children at alarming scale and across borders. But these outcomes are not inevitable. And prevention begins with one simple principle. Children must be safe by design, not safe by chance. Because danger now travels globally, instantly, invisibly, and intimately. And our protections must do the same. And as technology advances at extraordinary speed, we cannot simply stand by waiting for the damage to catch up with us. This is why brave parents, such as Amy Neville, here with us today, are turning unimaginable grief into action. Amy lost her 14-year-old son, Alexander, a child targeted through a platform engineered for engagement, not for protection. And she'll be sharing her story with you shortly. Today, she is here not only as a mother, but as an advocate and an activist, working to ensure that no other family has to experience the same loss. Her voice and the voices of so many others remind us of what is at stake. Children are no longer just participants in digital spaces. They are too often the product. Because when they tick the box and they sign the terms and conditions, they don't realize that they may actually be signing away their life. Because the small print didn't spell out that it was going to prey upon their vulnerabilities and drive them to content they weren't looking for to keep them engaged for as long as possible. They didn't know that the platforms valued profit over people. And yet when we've seen this in other sectors, we did not accept it. We would never accept a food system that knowingly exposed children to harm. We should not accept a digital one either. This moment demands more than concern. It demands courage. The courage to regulate where regulation is needed, the courage to demand transparency where secrecy has enabled harm, and the courage to say clearly and collectively, our children are not products. They are not experiments, and they are not expendable. The decisions made in places such as the World Health Assembly transcend far beyond these next few days. They ripple outward into schools, into homes, into hospitals, and into childhoods across the globe. So we must ask ourselves, will we look back at this moment as one where through collective action, the design of technology shifted towards safety, dignity, and well-being? Or will we accept more names being added to memorials like this? Because if an adult is barely able to survive the bullying and predation of the online world and the dangers that these platforms bring, how is a child? Let this not only be a moment to reflect, as Dr. Tedros said, let it be a mandate for action. So speak up. Demand better from the platforms shaping our children's lives. Be an example in your own social media use of how to be intentional in every moment that you like, that you comment, that you post, that you share. Hold your community to the same standard. Support laws and leaders committed to child safety by design, transparency, and accountability online. Write to your elected officials. Ask what they are doing to protect children in digital spaces. And join the parents, campaigners, health experts, and young people around the world calling for global standards that put child well-being before algorithmic profit. Because when enough voices refuse to accept harm as the cost of connection, change becomes inevitable. One day, generations from now, children will look back at this era with absolute disbelief that adults once allowed digital spaces to exist without basic protections for young people. But let's do something now so that they will also look back and see that during this increasingly polarized time, where people can barely agree on basic facts, that beyond politics or party lines, beyond demographics, incomes, or ideologies, beyond race or religion, we could all universally agree on one thing. We want our children to be safe. Let our children look back at this moment and let them feel proud of us, that we chose something better for them and for us all. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. There was some applause there, but it was cut short. Yeah, there's a seating area. There are chairs that you couldn't see from this angle, but yeah, there were some chairs, and I suppose that this is a park area of some type. But yeah, very powerful words coming from our Duchess. And this was the arrival. You can see the very trusted bodyguard guy that we see everywhere. I forget his name, but they, Switzerland is a very safe country, and there seemed to be additional security about. And yes, Meghan wore Armani. Meghan wore Armani, just in case you're wondering. That is the Armani suit. I don't know if it's the same one that she wore before, but she kept it very simple in black. And as mentioned before, one of the parents from the Parents Network is with her. Also, there was a chance to interact with the parents and other officials that was there. There's Dr. Tedros. How come she can't have a father like him instead of that monster? Okay. Well, Meghan looks very tall with the wide leg pants on. I don't know why she seems so much taller today. There's our security guy back there. Wow, that is heartbreaking. She lost her kid, 6 years ago? 6 years ago. So obviously that is one of the parents right there. I'm guessing, or just someone who's very touched by what she's reading. And I do have another video from when Meghan arrived. I will share that with you.
Thank you for being here.
Nope, that's not it. Yes, I got it. Okay, here goes. Okay. All in all, it seemed like a very somber occasion. And that's a great image of Meghan there on the left side. Now, I don't know what that place is behind her, but as you can see, it appears that there are the flags of every nation from what I can tell. But I can just barely see the letters and cannot read them at the top of the building there. And whoever the official is there on the right side, um, the uniform that he's wearing, isn't that the same colors of the Swiss Guard at the Vatican? Kind of reminds you of that, right? So maybe those colors mean something in Switzerland. The gold and red. There's never been like a king of Switzerland, though, has it? Has there ever been? I don't recall ever knowing that they had a royal family of any kind. Okay. I was just checking to see if I had a picture of a Swiss Guard. It doesn't seem as though, well, you know what I do, but there we go. I see one. Uh, see what I mean? Well, okay, that has the blue with it. But yeah, that uniform kind of reminds me of the Swiss Guard at the Vatican. Yeah. Very different uniform, though. And of course, Meghan looked absolutely beautiful. Very, very modest makeup. Hair in a slick back bun. A very dignified appearance. And of course, there were lots of embraces. That's the little girl that she was interacting with. So, there she is. Absolutely adorable. Look at the smile on her face. Dr. Tedros. And then, of course, there is the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail wanted to make sure that they didn't miss out on it. So let's see. Meghan wears Armani for Geneva speech. Well, they kept it simple, right? But no, they did have an article. Um, but yeah, they kept it very simple. And then, of course, one article will get you two. I'll tell you about that, the second one later. But yeah, that was the article number one. I didn't read it, so I don't know whether they were being completely shady or not. So I'm going to just assume that they said a few nice things and then went to the dark side. And the lady in pink, you can see why I thought she might have been from the US or from the Parents Network, because she seemed to be one of the official people. Um, well, of course, I'm pretty sure everybody's official, but you can see what I mean. And from what I can tell, there was one screen in particular that she visited. So I'm guessing that was one of her kids. You can see the seating area behind them right now. Hey, Lynn E., thank you for being here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. From what someone said, the whole they said the whole energy changed when Meghan arrived, which I can believe that. Kind of like something had come awake when she arrived. Okay, let me see. I got another video. I think this one you can kind of let's see. I don't think Megan is in this one, but you can kind of get a view of the area.
You like my pink?
As you can see, like I said, a very, very somber crowd. Oh, yeah. Well, you guys, I did not want to tell you yesterday because I didn't want to make anybody nervous. But Brer Rabbit, that buck-toothed fool, actually went. He said he was going to go, and there is a couple of images I've seen of him actually in the seating area, and I believe, yeah, I guess it was screenshots that I saw online, but I didn't look at the video that he made. But apparently, they say he looked very uncomfortable, and that he seemed to keep looking over his shoulder, whatever that was about. But yeah, they said he looked very uncomfortable and he seemed to keep looking over his shoulder. But he wore a sports coat, so it looked like he tried to dress up for the occasion. And yes, a meeting between one of Lula's ministers and the Duchess of Sussex, in case they forgot to include that in the title. But, I don't want to assume anything, but um, in in the Portuguese language, is it kind of like Spanish, where it seems to denote one's um, gender? You know what I mean? You know how some words in Spanish are just for or to describe a man, and the others to describe a woman, if you understand what I'm saying. I forgot what they call that. But this title kind of drove me crazy. I'm just like, what in the world is this? Lula's minister of health participated in a meeting with Meghan Markle, Prince Harry's wife, on Sunday. And then somewhere in the article, they referred to Meghan as an actress or the actress, and I'm just like, hello, that is the Duchess of Sussex. Like right here, it says an event organized by Prince Harry's wife. She's more than just Prince Harry's wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, or is it the person that wrote the article? Are they just weird like that? Did something get lost in translation? Because I had to translate it from Portuguese. Okay, so it says here, the health minister, Alexandra, Alexander Padilla, with President Lula, during a visit to Buenovis pharmaceutical plant in Valinos, SP. I guess that's Sao Paulo. Is it Sao Paulo? Anyway, um, Health Minister Alexander Padilla, she loved what Lula's administration and Ministry of Health are doing to tackle violence against children, said the Brazilian minister. Following the meeting, Padilla attended the unveiling of a memorial for children who have suffered digital violence, an event organized by Prince Harry's wife. You see there? There we go with Prince Harry's wife again. That's two. That's two. Just in case Meghan forgot that she's Prince Harry's wife, that's two. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, so that's the article from the Metropolis. Speaking to this column, Padilla recounted that during the meeting, he briefed Meghan on the action of the Lula administration has been taking to combat violence against children. Oh, here it is right here. Health Minister Alexander Padilla met with actress Meghan Markle, wife of Prince Harry, this Sunday. Is that three? Okay, so did I miss that one? Okay, that's one. Yes, that's 3 times, and it's not a very long article, but that's 3 times that they've had to remind people that that's Prince Harry's wife. Woo! Okay. We ain't gonna have too many more of those, are we? Men like Tom Psycho and Pierce Morgan want Meghan's attention. They want her to recognize them, acknowledge them, and see them. Thank you very much, Kavan Slim. Especially Pierce Morgan. In particular, Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan is how do I put this? He's determined. I'll just say he's very determined. He is not going to take no for an answer. Well, that's what someone said a long time ago, is that Pierce Morgan, he will harass you until you consent to an interview. It's like almost like demanding that you give him an interview, and then he'll ease up on you. That's wrong in so many ways. But thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I don't like that. So Lula's minister is also attending a dinner with Meghan and the director of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom. See, I told you there's a dinner, and maybe it's just not a big dinner, I suppose, but I'm kind of nosy. I want to see. I want to see what the dinner's about and who's invited. Okay, so that was the meeting right there. I believe this is the meeting that they were referring to. And as you can see, Meghan is wearing an earpiece, so there is some translation going on there. Portuguese is very different from Spanish. I mean, I'm sure that there are some words that they share, like so many other languages, but it is very different from Spanish. Well, there's that buck-toothed clown right there. Um, I had the opportunity to request from the the what do you call it, AI or whatever. I had a request to create the buck-tooth clown, and that's what they came up with. So Carmela says, "Yep, the Meghan derangement syndrome is eating away at deranger's brain cells. Isn't Tom Sykes supposed to be a wank fan?" Meaning, of course, William. When Harry was going on his London humanitarian tour last year, Tom was fangirling. Now he's breathlessly following Meghan to Switzerland. Tom, you're a fan. Yep, you're a fan. You're a fan. You're a fan. Yes, expose that fan for who and what they really are. Now, I do have a little bit of a soundbite of Tom mumbling about something from when he first arrived in Switzerland. Let me cue that up for you. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of background noise, but let's see.
Ready for it. Hello, everybody.
Oh, why didn't that connect to my phone? That's interesting. Let me try that one more time. All right, here goes.
People who feel fully.
No, not that one.
Hello, everybody. Been up early this morning, getting ready for Harry's visit. Don't know exactly whether he arrived last night.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. That is not. This is the video of him getting ready for Harry's visit. I'm so sorry. You know, I thought that he had misspoken. But okay.
Lilac designer gown in her magnificent Montecito mansion. A lilac designer gown in her magnificent Montecito mansion. A lilac designer gown in her magnificent Montecito mansion. A lilac designer gown.
Okay, that was a different video. One of the squatties posted that. As a matter of fact, I think it was Carmela that posted that. As you can see, he was saying about her and her lilac gown and her magnificent. He almost choked on the word magnificent Montecito mansion. He's referring to the selfie that Meghan shared. What was it, 2 days ago? He's referring to that. I think Carmela is right. Carmela said he's a fan. I think he's a fan, but he makes his money from being shady. See, this is why I was giving him a chance a while ago. When he first went to Substack, I was giving him an opportunity to break free from, what is it, Daily Beast, and to do some real reporting. But that wasn't the case. He didn't see it that way. He wanted to use all of the tropes and all of the talking points that is pretty common amongst the Royal Rota and, of course, the derangers. And he built an audience for himself really fast. I mean, he's I don't know what his numbers look like because I refuse to look at his channel or bother with his Substack anymore. But if one of the squaddies share the information, then I will definitely take a look at it. But I have no intentions on giving him the engagement. So, but you know, I'm glad that there are people in the squad that are keeping an eye on them, because if you don't push back, it allows the lies to fester. And sometimes that's not a good idea. That is really not a good idea, because you don't want your enemy to define who you are, because it's very hard to disprove a negative. So you don't even want that to take root. But you cannot fight every time either. You have to pick and choose your battles. But I really that, what article was that? The one where they did like a Frankenstein article where they took a piece of this and a piece of that, and they were saying that Meghan was bullying the staff and everything. I really did not like that one. That one was particularly bad. Okay, so this was what does it say there in that very fine print? It says Meghan to appear at major global event in Switzerland. A source close to the Duchess, okay, a source close to the Duchess, sure, has exclusively revealed her surprise next move just weeks after her whirlwind Aussie trip. Okay. And it also said that Meghan was going to give a speech. And she did. And it was quite a speech. Duchess will take part in a key event for the World Health Organization in Geneva this weekend. Source close to Meghan that she will appear at the Health Assembly. Oh, that's what I was looking for. It's understood the Duchess will present a speech during the event, which runs from the 18th until the 23rd of May. So if you are in Switzerland, I'm assuming that you will have an opportunity to see the home screens that they have set up in that park area or plaza, assuming that you will still have an opportunity to see that until the 23rd of May, which gives you a few days, actually. Gives you until, let's see, Friday. I think Friday or Saturday is the 23rd. So, yeah, it should be there, but I would check before traveling. Yeah, I would check before traveling. If you're anywhere close, here's your opportunity. This exhibit really ought to be permanent somewhere, but right now it is a traveling exhibit of the home screens, and I'm looking forward to a chance to see it myself someday. Okay. Oh, look at that. Look at that lady right there. I told you Meghan seems very tall. I'm sure she's wearing her stilettos, but for some reason she seems taller than I've ever seen her before. But I guess it's just a matter of some of the people are just, not as tall. But yeah, very interesting. And here's a side view of Meghan giving her speech. Now, this lady right here, let me see, who is she? It's Stephanie Wrist. Stephanie Wrist. I wonder if that's her last name. Stephanie Wrist. Anyway, it says here, World Health Organization launch of the Champions Council to End Violence Against Children. 1 billion children are victims every year is fully committed to their protection, particularly in the digital space, a priority champion during its G7 presidency. Oh, okay. So that is translated from French. So I guess with the French flag, they're saying that France is fully committed. Okay. Yes. She's from France, I believe. And as you can see, that is what she posted on her social media account. And I'm, just saying that she didn't post any other photos except for the ones with Meghan and Dr. Tedros. I'm just saying. I think she was kind of being a bit of a fangirl, but that's okay. That's okay. I like this though because Meghan's get a chance to meet some really important people. And this is what? How many times have Meghan and Harry worked with Dr. Tedros? We have Jordan, right? And then there's Meghan on this solo trip. And gosh, I know that they were, oh my goodness, I cannot think of other places. If you can think of them, please put it in the chat. But was it that first trip to New York? Whatever the case may be, it seems as though they are relying upon the Sussexes to bring a certain level of attention to some of these causes and some of these meetings. I'm just going to say that. I assume that they are depending upon that a bit of that attention that they're capable of bringing to a cause. Now, the Daily Mail, Meghan's next step. Because Meghan took a photo with her little helper, Lily, they are of the opinion that this is going to lead to a fashion brand. This photo with Princess Lilibet, a tantalizing clue that Meghan is launching her own fashion brand. It is perhaps her most candid social media snap since she resurrected her Instagram feed post that M word that I hate so much, that chauvinistic M word that appears to be a peek inside her own wardrobe in Montecito, clad in a lilac coat, according to Brer Rabbit, it's a lilac gown, but clad in her lilac coat, Meghan strikes a full-length mirror selfie pose with Lilibet crouching at her feet, captioned "Mama's Little Helper," a spot topped off with a lovely purple heart emoji. Okay, so they're guessing that this means that there's a fashion line coming. Or is it just Meghan doing something that she's done for years, and that is take a selfie in the mirror? Now, I don't know if you can tell, but at the bottom of the picture, I believe that's Guy, right? I believe that's Guy nursing those fractures. Looks like he has the cast on his legs there. But yeah, maybe Meghan's just doing something that she's always done, and that is just take a selfie. Maybe there's no reason to add anything else to it, but of course that never stopped the Daily Mail. Again, there's Meghan taking selfies. I mean, it is what, 2026? People take selfies. That doesn't mean that someone is about to launch a fashion line. But, people are going to do what they do. Let me see. Oh, and they're making reference to that sizing chart again. I didn't actually see the sizing chart. By the time it was mentioned, it was already gone, and then I haven't seen it anywhere after that. They have zero access to Meghan and want it so bad. Here, here. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, yeah. They are salivating. They are frothing at the mouth with excitement, trying to get access. Now, the 17th of May, 2018, I snapped this photo. I was on a train. I think I was going from Italy to Paris. And then from Paris, I had to cross the channel so that I could get back over in time for Harry and Meghan's wedding. So as you can see, the clock is counting down. I had a rail pass, and I don't know, I don't really like flying from country to country when I'm visiting Europe. I'd rather take the train because look at what I would have missed. Look at what I would have missed had I taken a plane. So I would love to say I've been to Switzerland. I have not. I switched trains. And I just think that it's not fair to count a visit to a train station or an airport as having visited a country or a city. That's cheating. Unless you like have a day trip, you know, get off the train, walk around, go to a museum. I don't like to pretend that I've actually been there. I passed through. And what you don't see is that huge sausage with a splash of mustard on the side that I purchased at the train station. Oh my God, it was good. And you know, I was looking at the picture of it and I had a beer. I rarely drink beer. I probably can count maybe just both hands how many times I've had beer in life. But it is kind of tasty to have beer with sausages or, you know, like a hot dog or something like that. So, yeah, I looked at the photo I took of my food and I'm like, I had a beer? Oh, well, I guess I did. Anyway, I took that photo. And this is from the train. I'm on a moving train. And I took this photo. Isn't that beautiful? It is overcast, but it doesn't even matter. Look at that beautiful lake up in the mountains. I don't know what lake that is, but beautiful. Oh, isn't that breathtaking? And just think, some people live like that all the time. This is their life. They're able to live in all of that fresh mountain air and snow as high as the roof. How amazing is that? Okay, I think there's one more. Yes, there it is. Lake Lugano, Milano, Ticino, Switzerland. So if I'm correct, Switzerland borders with Italy and France and Germany and or do they border with Germany? Or is it Austria? Austria and Liechtenstein. But yeah, anyway, those are their neighbors. You'll find people that speak French and German. Yeah. And Italian, I guess, in Switzerland. But yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. This was May the 17th, 2018. And who knew that just a few years later, like what, 3 years later, I would be like Harry and Meghan's biggest defenders. I'd be one of their biggest defenders. I was on my way to London so that I could wake up early and go to the wedding. So again, thank you all for the support. Cha-ching. Monetization Day. Cha-ching. So Bob the Builder. The other big thing that I take away from this week is that somehow, if you are witty enough, you can work Bob the Builder into conversations about child development. I mean, if Kate can do it, anybody can. I'm not saying anybody should, but anybody can. And thank you to the squatty that sent this picture. I had the one with the yellow hat yesterday, but as you can see, they matched it to that hideous blue outfit that she wore, the ones where her knees were sticking out looking like weapons. That one. Yeah. Bob the Builder. Let me see. Where is that one?
Character called Bob the Builder, and he has a philosophy of reduce, reuse, recycle. Yeah. And you embrace that here. It's something as a mother I feel as a family we do a lot of, is try and have that at the back of our minds.
Of course, what she's saying is unintelligible, so they had to put up a caption for her.
Character called Bob the Builder, and he has a philosophy of reduce, reuse, recycle.
So, if you think that's something, where are those photos from yesterday with those knees? Yes, I'm afraid the kids that here we go. Kate Middleton quotes the children cartoon Bob the Builder motto, reduce, reuse, recycle, when reflecting on how she interacts with nature. I thought this trip was about early years. Why is she talking about nature? Yes, she truly deserves an award with how much research she's done on early childhood, over 8 years of learning about early childhood. And this is what she brought to the table is Bob the Builder. That's what she brought to the table, ladies and gentlemen, is Bob the Builder. But for me, it's all about the reaction of those two back there. And those are just the two that we can see. Their reaction is classic, epic. I mean, they don't know what to make of it. After years of research, Katie has discovered that children's books can be educational. She then shares the big news with fellow professionals. Now, that's being generous, fellow professionals. They are lost for words. Yes, they are. They are lost for words. Why all of a sudden she talking about being a mother? Cheers to that. Thank you very much. That is interesting. That is interesting. I was puzzled with the Bob the Builder part, but I'm waiting for the moment when she will bring up having a nanny. This is the part where you're supposed to say, even though we had much needed help from nannies, right? Just like Harry is very quick to point out that he knows that he's grown up in privilege. And so I recall that time when Harry was on a panel discussion with some kids that were speaking about their experience growing up and getting in trouble and such. And Harry mostly let them talk. That was when he was in Chicago that time, and he was invited, I believe it was by Melanie Hobson, to the or was it Michelle Obama for it was I know oh no, you know what? It was the Obama Foundation. It was hosted by Melanie Hobson, and Harry talked, and then there was a young lady and a gentleman that came out and they spoke, and Harry mostly yielded to them because, as he said, I've grown up with a great deal of privilege. He acknowledged that, and then he kept quiet. Whereas Kate is pretending to have actually done a lot of problem solving, as though she used her children as part of a greater experiment in early childhood development. It is so ridiculous. I can understand wanting to study and research and inform people, but you have to qualify your statements by reminding people I've grown up in privilege, my children are growing up in privilege, and yes, I've had servants at the beck and call throughout my marriage to that William person. If she doesn't acknowledge that, then everything that she says, I believe, is irrelevant or disingenuous. Yeah, I believe everything that she says is very disingenuous. You must acknowledge that, because people out here are making decisions about whether or not they can even provide food for their children, whether they can heat their home. If that doesn't inhibit childhood development, I don't know what else does. There is a huge difference growing up in poverty, and mind you, abuse or neglect or mistreatment, there's no limit to how much money you can have before that stops, because there is no limit. It could happen in the best or the worst of households. But the point is, you need to make it very clear that you are speaking from a research perspective and not necessarily a lived experience. I think it matters. I really do think it matters. And I'm waiting for someone with some type of credentials to call her out on this. Also, the fact that the government that she represents, didn't they cut a whole bunch of programs? Or how about that time when Dr. Scholler called her out because they had like one of those early childhood meetings and there was not one single child of color there? Not one. There was parents and children. Neither were there to represent. Like a whole sector of society was ignored. And that is why representation matters. If this is what she's studying, instead of having a staff that's Googling a bunch of information and citing all of these people, I think that there really ought to be some type of academic setting that she herself will spend time and learn firsthand, but still admit to having nannies. That's not everybody's story. Not Rose Nyland. Let's see. Her reference was so out of left field when he comes when she was talking about recycling, not child rearing. Yeah, yeah, she just worked Bob the Builder in there. I mean, you have to be a pretty artful person to make that make sense. After Duchess Meghan's speech, KP needs to keep Kitty inside and let her go back to how she was before the Duchess came on the scene. Smile, walk behind Willie, etc. She's good at it. She's very good at that. And also, I'm going to stress again, how are you doing this visit and not addressing the crowd, not addressing an audience? It's the usual sit at a table and mumble things that are barely audible. Most people cannot, not only can they not hear, even if they could, they couldn't understand it. Look at that. Oh, there was 5 differences. I didn't realize that. Did you guys see that yesterday when I put that up? 5 differences? I didn't realize we were supposed to look for 5. The flag, someone said the necklace, right? Do we need to do that again? Because I want to know what the. I didn't know it was 5. I thought it was just 1. How did I miss that? Okay, let me see. I got this. So if she didn't go on this trip, absolutely nothing would be different. Pointless PR exercise. Graham Smith of Republic, as usual, trolling, I repeat, trolling the royal family. And he's absolutely right. Whether Kate went on this trip or not, it doesn't change anything. It does not move the dial one bit. I haven't seen any research mentioned. I haven't heard of any future plans or how they intend to do any kind of joint efforts. None of it. The only thing we heard was that Kate was mentioning on the way home, oh, golly gee goody, let's try to put together some more trips abroad. And it was the same with the trip to Denmark. There seemed to be no point to it. Kate went. She was circled with children. She interacted. She went sliding down that sliding board, and of course, she breached protocol when visiting Margarita, the Queen, by walking in front of the Queen of Denmark. Right? Remember that? And then when it was time to do a photo op, the Queen of Denmark had to say, listen, dum-dum, you need to move over here. Do you guys remember that? It was a disaster. And even worse, the tabloids and Kensington Palace were trying to boss the Dutch, I'm not the Dutch, but the Danish press was trying to boss them around. And what they did in retaliation was actually post some of the worst pictures. There were some horrible images of Kate that were released by the Danish media. Oh, that trip was a disaster, and I enjoyed every bit of it. You know, that's why I tell people when they say what is that? The silence challenge or whatever they call it, where you don't want to mention stuff like that. Not me. I ain't strong enough. I am here to drag, and drag I will. I'm not strong enough. I have too much fun with it. Sorry. The mute challenge. That's what they call it. The mute challenge. Why do a mute challenge when I can drag? Huh? Why would I do that? What's in it for me? No, I have too much fun. And fun I will have. Like when Willie went to New York, there was a mute challenge for that. There was too much good material, especially when William got stood up by the mayor. Remember when Eric Adams didn't show up? He sent one of his department heads instead. Willie was trying to get the photo op with the mayor at the firehouse. And Eric Adams was like, you know what? I got a thing. Why don't you go in my place? Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, you guys. At this point, you know what? That's the last slide. So if you all need to get to bed or start your day, go for it. I'm going to take a last look through to see if I missed anything because I am like thirsty for some of those dinner photos. But so far, I don't see any. I'm even thinking dinner may have been last night instead of tonight. So I think that'd do it for us. But if you want to hang around, please do. Oh, this is very sweet. I'm going to show you this picture. This is Meghan laying the flower. Take a look. Huh. Very sweet. Okay, let me check another one of my reliable sources just to see if there's anything we missed. But if you have any last comments, go ahead and put those in the chat before I go. Oh, you know what? There's a I think this is a thank you letter from Dr. Tedros. It says, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, dear colleagues and friends, I am honored to join Archwell Philanthropies in bringing the Lost Screen Memorial to Geneva for the 79th World Health Assembly. Today, we gather in remembrance. The names behind us are not statistics, they're children. Alexander, Coco, Riley, Archie, Selena. As the May of Geneva said, each name represents a life full of promise, a son, a daughter, a classmate, a child deeply loved. And each family represented here has experienced an unimaginable loss. On behalf of the World Health Organization, I thank you for your courage. These stories demonstrate the urgent need to make both the online world and the online world safe places where young people can flourish. We are facing public health crisis in youth mental health created by multiple factors, including a lack of digital safety. This memorial asks a difficult but necessary question. What responsibility do we share for the environments in which our children grow up? Today, billions of people spend a large part of their lives online. For many children and adolescents, digital spaces are not separate from real life. They are part of daily life, a place for learning, connection, entertainment, and self expression. But we must also be honest about the risk. We are seeing growing evidence that some online environments and platforms can contribute to harm, especially for young people. Technology design, inadequate guardrails, and governance choices expose children and vulnerable populations to serious and preventable risks like sexual exploitation, addiction, and bullying. We have tackled similar challenges before for car seats, cribs, medicine bottles, and playground equipment. We did not ask parents to out engineer the manufacturers. We asked the manufacturers to ensure their products do not hurt children. We asked governments to legislate and enforce consumer protections. The question remains, will the world ignore powerful company design products are harming, or will the world finally say, not our kids, not anymore? There are solutions. We can prevent harm through protection and design standards with rigorous enforced accountability. We can mitigate harm through crisis response, family support, and affordable and timely access to care. We can coordinate globally. Harms resulting from dangerous design in one country can travel everywhere in seconds. Protections and standards must too. This memorial can be more than a moment of reflection. It must be a call for collective action to ensure the digital spaces support health rather than undermine it. We owe that to every name on this wall and their families. I would like to thank Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, for her leadership and commitment. We are proud of you, and it's my distinct honor to invite the Duchess to say a few words. I thank you. So that was Dr. Tedros's speech, I believe, before Meghan spoke. I thought that was just lovely. I thought that he ended that in a very lovely way. I would like to thank the Duchess of Sussex for her leadership and commitment. We are proud of you, and it is my distinct honor to invite the Duchess to say a few words. I thank you. Wow, I love that. That is beautiful. Very beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Tedros. And you know what? I'm going to learn how to say your name. Yep, for that, I am going to learn how to say his name. I am no longer going to refer to him as Dr. Tedros ad hominem Gibraltar. I'm going to use his real name, whatever it is. That's how I'm going to spend my evening. I'm going to figure out how to say his name. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, it looks like that's what it says. Dr. Tedros ad hominem Gibraltar. That is a very distinguished name, and he should be proud not to have that name. uh, let me see. Soon the British media will tell us that Dr. Tedros snubbed the Sussexes and he is working with the Waleses. Yes, you're so right about that. They will try to sort that in there some kind of way. They will. They will try to create a scenario. Even if Dr. Tedros just passes Willie in a hallway anywhere in the world, if they could just get the two of them photographed 20 feet apart from each other, that's as good as a lifetime commitment to work with the Kensington Palace crew. That is funny. I love that. But it is so true. It's wicked but true. Oh well. Okay, so that is on the World Health Organization page. Very cool. You know, oh. Let me see. Tom Sykes flew to Geneva for Meghan Sussex after skipping Kate's Italy trip. I think we'll talk about that one tomorrow. That's Feminagra. I think we'll talk about that one tomorrow. I'm loving it already. Tom Sykes flew to Geneva, but he did not go to Italy. Okay, let's take a walk through the photos one more time and do this really fast. Hey, Shelly L. Our Duchess looked absolutely beautiful, and thank you to the Daily Mail for posting that image on the left side. They actually posted that Meghan looking like a teenager practically. Um, all I can say is thank you. They did find some very nice photos of Meghan to run in their trashy paper. Um, but yeah, she looks beautiful. Huh? Huh? Wow. You know, it is a solemn occasion, so I hate to keep pointing out how beautiful Meghan looks. I mean, it's not really the point. I'm being totally superficial by saying that, but huh? Right? Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Gosh, she looks beautiful. And believe it or not, page 6 posted this. Page 6. Shady page 6. Tom Sykes needs to be dragged for filth. with receipts all over social media for his hateful, ludicrous, stalking, abusive behavior. Well, see, that's why I didn't tell you guys that he was going to Switzerland. I didn't mention it yesterday because I didn't want you all to, you know, have that to think about, um, as opposed to, just anticipating seeing Meghan working in a very professional capacity as a co-founder of the Archwell Philanthropies, as well as all around humanitarian. I didn't want y'all to have to think about that. So I said nothing, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, where is Shady Tom Sykes and when is he going to make his appearance? How is he going to insert himself into the visit? But as far as I can tell, um, I didn't see any obvious signs of him except for a couple of images that other people posted from like a screenshot. But, I don't watch his channel, but I suppose he made a video. He's clout chasing. That's what he's doing. He's clout chasing. I think going to Switzerland will somehow lend a bit of credibility to his work, and therefore he didn't want to miss that opportunity. That's my best guesstimate. uh no Sussex team warrior, nothing like that, I suppose. Uh-huh. Okay. Sorry, you guys. I was just checking out a couple of things. Zandy Sussex says they tried to silence her, diminish her, and shrink her to 50% of herself. Instead, she grew into 200% of herself. Thank you, Meghan, for refusing to give up your voice and inspiring millions around the world to reclaim theirs too. Oh, I like that. I like that. That is Senior Lieutenant Zandy Sussex. Oh, okay. All right, check this out, you guys. um, a little shade from Zandy Sussex, just to whet your appetite. A little shade from Zandy. Here you go. Now she says, came across a Sour Grapes Live by Tom Sykes, which not which I'm not going to post. He reluctantly admitted Meghan's speech was fabulous and acknowledged what a huge deal it was for her to be standing beside the Director General of the World Health Organization. He whinged about Harry and the global attention he's been receiving for his opinions, then spent the rest of the live desperately scraping the bottom of the barrel for things to criticize about Meghan. Remember, his subscribers are desperately waiting for a hateful update from him. What's clear is the haters are panicked by the fact Meghan is highly regarded and moving in the highest corridors of power. And there's absolutely nothing they can do to stop her. The worst nightmare has come true. The Sussexes are thriving and completely outside of the firm's control. See, that's why I didn't look. That's why I don't look at his channel, because for every polite thing he says, there will be a ton of nasty comments. And then he does this thing where he's trying to laugh, even though he's not really laughing. He covers his mouth and then he rocks back and forth in the chair. And even when he covers his mouth, you can still see that saber tooth in the front of his mouth. If he cups his hand over his mouth, that tooth protruding from his face still sticks out a little bit. See how his mouth is? That's him trying to use it takes a lot of energy to pull that flap of skin called his upper lip. It takes a lot of energy to pull that over that buck tooth of his. So yeah, it's really exhausting for him to try and talk when that because when he gets excited, that muscle the muscles used to pull that top lip over that tooth, sometimes it gets weak and it's difficult for him to form his words. So um anyway, that's what the problem is. He gets a little excited, it weakens the lip muscles, and then it's very difficult for him to form words. Poor guy. Maybe if he wasn't so shady, it wouldn't happen. Also, instead of going to Geneva, maybe he should have taken a trip to, I don't know, Istanbul. Yeah, maybe he should go to Istanbul because, well, is that a mohawk he's wearing? I have been trying to figure out, is he doing a mohawk or not? Is that a mohawk? I think it's a mohawk. uh oh well. He didn't look Native American to me, but maybe he's part of the Mohawk tribe. Oh man, I'm loving it. You see why I quote Zandy Sussex almost every day. Now you see why. Oh, she says that Megan's Armani suit is giving kindly take your finger out of my face. That's what that suit is saying. Kindly take your finger out of my face. Okay, I'm here for it. And she also says, Zandy says, our sweet little wardrobe stylist niece, Princess Lily, deserves a raise because the outfit choices were flawless. Okay. Okay. I think Lily deserves a raise then. Also, Zandy says that every speech Meghan gives is a masterclass. I am in agreement. Oh, this is nice. Do you guys remember Narendra? Narendra Kaur? Is it Narendra Kaur? She says, "You would be lying if you can't see or refuse to see just how powerful her presence is, how articulately she speaks with passion, intent, and true purpose. Meghan Sussex is changing the world around her. And I, for one, welcome her using her platform to help others." Okay, Narendra, I like that. Okay. And about 7 hours ago, Zandy says, "I couldn't be prouder of this beautiful, kind, intelligent, and strong woman." I agree. I definitely agree. Oh, I think there was a squatty there. This particular squatty says, "This moment was so intense, we all started crying. We told Meghan how loved she is and how much we all love her. The woman crying here told Meghan that her strength inspires her and that she is a role model for many people." I'll show you the picture uh, that goes with that comment. Um, hmm, how do I do that? I need to, nope, I need to go back over here. Yes, let me identify the photo and then I'll show you. Okay, I think I'm going in the wrong direction. Yes, it's the photo on the left side there. That's the one. It's the photo on the left. This moment was so intense, we all started crying. We told Meghan how loved she is and how much we all love her. The woman crying here told Meghan that her strength inspires her and that she is a role model for many people. Huh. That is beautiful. Oh, you know what? Let me check out his page. Igor, the one who wrote that article, the one that kept saying Harry's wife. Let me see here. Yeah, he's posted that on his not his Instagram, his Twitter. Igor Gadalia, something like that. Columnist at the Metropolis. Yeah, he's the one who wrote that article. Huh, okay. Yeah, he doesn't say anything here. Everything he had to say is in the article, I suppose. You know, that's Harry's wife. 3 times. Okay, you guys, it doesn't seem to be any additional images that I'm finding. Just what I've shared so far. So no dinner images, much to my disappointment. Maybe next time, maybe tomorrow we'll get some. Yeah, this is one of those nights where I am really grateful to Beyonce for letting us use her internet. There's some interesting things on Beyonce's internet. Mm. You know what I'm doing? I'm looking at Instagram and I'm trying to see if I can find some interesting stuff like that. And so far, not. Yeah, I was hoping to come across some additional like photos someplace else beside the ones that we've seen so far. And so far I've only found the same ones. Okay, folks. Well, if you want to say goodnight, go ahead. I'm still just scrolling through some stuff, but I am done for today. Just being nosy. Playing detective, that's what I'm doing. Well, I cannot believe all you guys are still here. uh, I cannot believe it. I just happened to take a glance. I found a very interesting image of Harry earlier. I'll share that with you. I don't know what the occasion was, but I feel like I'm sitting right next to him. So I thought that was a bit much. So I turned it into a black and white image. There you go. Which do you prefer? This one or this one? This one or this one? Too dark, maybe? The color one? Oh, there you go. The second one? There you go. Yeah, I thought it was rather intense. It needs to be, I didn't crop it like that. That's the way I found it, but I would prefer to see more of his collar just to better frame his face. Yeah, let me see. Good morning, Geneva. What does that say? Today we are at Walk the Talk. Okay. Look like so the WHO, are they based in Geneva, Switzerland? Well, they had some event today, like an outdoor walkathon or something. I bet that was fun. Probably very early this morning. Well, yesterday morning. A little too shadowy. Needs to be lightened up, maybe. How about we try it with another filter? Uh, Okay, I'm gonna brighten it up a little bit. Maybe play with the exposure, maybe the brilliance. Okay, maybe a little too shadowy. All right, let me see. Okay, so that was the first one. And did it do anything? Let me see. That's the color one. That one. And then that one. Why does it seem like nothing happened? Oh, you know what? Maybe I shared the wrong one. Let me try it again. Okay, so oh, you know what? I'm looking at the wrong screen. I think I'm looking at the wrong screen. Okay, let me take some of this other stuff away because I think it's kind of freezing on me. Well, you know, if something is different, I don't see it. So there's that. Let me try that. Hell, it all looks the same to me. And I promise you, I'm changing these. I added, let me see, does that look different? Okay. That one. And then that one. For some reason, the new one's not coming up. I tell you, when you look at Harry's eyes, you can really feel there's something really deep going on with him. You know what I mean? It's all in the eyes. There's a lot of like he's taken on the weight of the world, is what I get from him. Oh, you know what? Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening when I do that. I tell you what, give me just a second. I can fix that. It's like it's frozen, so it's not really moving. It might be time for me to get another computer because this one is slowing down on me. I use it a lot though. Like sometimes all day, every day, I'm on this computer. So that's the darker one, and that's the lighter one. So darker and lighter. Okay, now I can see it. Darker. Yeah, I think you're right. The lighter one is definitely better. Darker, lighter. Yeah, I like the lighter one better. The darker one is just way too dark. It is. So I think this one is much better. Yep. Yep. April, May, you're absolutely right. Yes, beautiful speech. I agree. Hello, Claudette McKenzie. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Well, you guys, I'm going to say good night. I'm just taking some last little looks around the Beyonce's internet to see if I can find any more images, and I'm not seeing anything. So I guess it is time to say good night. You guys are still here, huh? Okay. I'm going to log off for real this time. I'm just being nosy here. Felton LaShawn, thanks for joining us. I have just been sitting here combing the web, looking for some more images, but unfortunately, I'm not finding anything else. I just feel like there should be more photos, but I guess that's it. Meghan is probably already home or on the overnight red eye flight or whatever. I'm getting a little spoiled, I guess. Yeah, call me spoiled. I just don't want it to end. Hey, soul brother.
Hi, Meghan. Hi. How many more millions of children will be harmed by products that, while innovative, are still designed without sufficient safeguards? And when will children be able to enjoy the extraordinary potential of technology without it compromising their well-being? For too long, we've accepted a dangerous bargain that modern connection must come at the cost of the innocence of childhood, that innovation excuses injury, and that speed matters more than safety. But we would never accept this logic anywhere else. We did not tell parents to create their own seatbelts. We did not ask children to test unsafe medicine. We did not shrug at poisoned water or defective toys and call it the price of progress. We acted, and now the world must act again.
Thank you, Meghan. Okay, so good night for real, you guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much. May 17th, monetization day. That was the first time when Royal Sussex, the channel, became big enough to actually start making money from the YouTube. So once the monetization start, that's when you can receive super chat, super stickers. That's when you get the advertisement pay. So every time there's a commercial, when you guys watch commercials, like for some of you guys that are unable to make a contribution, one way to contribute is by actually watching those commercials. That helps out a lot. So, and especially in this economy, every penny counts. But yeah, so that's what monetization means. So sometimes when people are have been demonetized for various reasons, then that means that you can have your channel, but you're not able to earn. But monetization, that means that you get a cut of the revenue from the commercials. Yeah, what was it? The 17th of May, 28, not 18, 2021. Yeah, 2021. During the height of the global pandemic, that's when Royal Sussex took off. And I've seen the Sussexes 3 times live in person. The first was the wedding day. I was standing in the crowd. The next one was Trooping the Colors. Again, I was standing in the crowd. And then when Harry and Meghan went to the Intrepid Museum, there was no crowd, but I was standing there. Yeah, so those are the 3 occasions. Thank you, Shelly L. Okay, cheers. Good night, everyone.